But I'm super excited about a new addition to the SDK. And this addition is Expo Mesh Gradient, and I'll actually bring it here. So Expo Mesh Gradient, it's a feature that it's only available for iOS, but this is actually a view that uses Swift UI. So traditionally, Expo and React Native uses UIKit, which is a framework to create native applications for iOS, right? And recently at Expo, we've been working, the SDK team have been working on adding support for Swift UI. And this is like the first module that we are supporting that uses Swift UI. And I'm super excited about this because this is one of the latest additions on iOS 18 by Apple, and it allows you to have very cool gradients. So let's go ahead and test this out. Of course, this is going to work only for iOS, so keep that in mind. And if you want to learn more, by the way, you can simply say mesh gradient Apple and hit enter, and you will be taken to the documentation of Apple, where actually you can learn more about this. But basically, it's a two-dimensional gradient defined by a 2D grid of position colors. This is going to work on iPad, Mac, and iOS 18 and above. And the way it works is basically you define a grid, and then you pass the points that you want to apply the following colors. And we can use that with Expo. So I'll go ahead and install this dependency in my application. Install Expo Mesh Gradient. And this is going to add it in here. So we need to use a development build for Mesh Gradient because it uses native code. So I'll say npx expo prebuild, and I'll prebuild my application only for iOS for now. So let's hit enter. And this is going to install the CocoaPods and get the application ready. So as you can see on the left, now I have this iOS folder. And it's a good idea. I always recommend to add the iOS folder and Android folder to the git ignore so that we don't track this on Git, especially because these folders are auto-generated every time that we run this command npx expo prebuild. And if you're using Expo application services, when you build your application in the cloud, basically we are running this command under the hood and we are generating the iOS folder. So it's not needed. Okay, so the app is ready. So I'll just say Bon iOS to build this application on my iOS simulator that I have here. So I'll just go ahead and create a new screen, I guess. New tab, and call this one mesh gradient.tsx. Maybe I can add a dash in here. Hit enter. And export default this screen. Let's go to the docs. Mesh gradient, it's actually a really cool, really cool module that allows you to have some very cool gradients that you can use, like background color, like a background in a screen or like an onboarding screen. So I just go ahead and paste this in here and import this from Expo Mesh Gradient. Let's hit save. Now I'll add this to my tabs. So in my tabs, I have tabs, explore, and then we can add the mesh gradient with this nice title. Or actually I can hide the title. Cool. I think this would look great because basically this is like just a background that I want to show. And there we have it. Yeah, so I need to move this a little bit. I'll put it in here. Let's go to the mesh gradient. And this is how it looks. This is so cool, right? And let's go and start tweaking this. And of course I can use AI for this. Add some cool colors in here. And this is going to start adding some colors. And if I hit save, this is how it looks. So this is amazing, right? And you can do crazy things. For example, if I start tweaking like the columns, let's say 6 and 6, you can see that we get like these crazy effects that, it could look good if you make it look good and unique for your application. And even you can use this as a background, right? And if you want to start adding more stuff in here, let's just wrap this in a component And what I'll do is maybe, I think I can say style sheets from React Native dot absolute fill. And then this will be like a background. And from here, I can add more stuff, right? So let me minimize this. Not sure if I have to add it before or after this component, but I can have like a theme text in here that says mesh gradient. Okay, let me put it after. Yeah, so I can see it there. And it's actually changing every time that I add this. Let's add a type, title, hit save, and I'll go ahead and center everything. So yeah, let's create a view and wrap everything inside this view. And for the container, I'll just create an inline style in here. And I need to import this. So let's hit save and let's go back to mesh gradient. All right, so you see what's happening. We are basically covering this view. I wonder what happens if I wrap this view. Oh, that kind of looks good, huh? Awesome. So yeah, it's changing every time. Let's go back to the 3 and 3. This is how it looks. This is more stable. And by the way, you can learn more about this mesh gradient. I would say it's actually pretty hard to understand how it works. Let me go to the documentation. Yeah. So the Expo documentation at the moment is just very high level. And actually, you should know how to use this before coming in and using it. But if you go to the Apple developer documentation, you can learn more about this. Basically, what we are doing here is defining a grid, right? So I can have as many colors as I want. So in this case, the grid is 3 by 3, and we are defining the 3 colors at the top, which are these 3 colors, and then the next 3 and the next 3. But on top of that, we are providing the position for each, not the position, but where the gradient is going to start. So as you can see here, the first one is starting on the axis 0, x0, and y0. Then we move that all the way to 0.5 and then 0 on x and y0. So y is 0 all the time, which means we are going to start the gradient always at the top of the screen. And you can tweak these points, right? This should actually look something like this because we have a grid of 3 by 3, and we could do something like that for this, but we have these comments, so never mind. So this is X and this is Y. And if I want to start my gradient, let's say that instead of starting at the 0 for the color in the middle here, let's start this on 0.5. And now we have this crazy effect, right? So this is really cool and actually kind of like that. And if you want to push the right side to the middle, so let me just bring this back to how it was. Instead of finishing on 1.0, we can finish this on 0.5 as well. And now we have like this really crazy shape. But if I want some spacing, I can change this to be 4. Oh, this is actually passing, so I'll say 6. Yeah, I need to have this somehow like this, otherwise I cannot understand what's happening. So I'm going all the way to 6 and I'm starting at 4, let's say. And now we have more space, right? And yeah, you can start creating crazy stuff like this one, and you can go over. So for example, if I want to cross these two, I can say that this is going to be 0.6 and then this will be 0.4. And now we are crossing these two, right? It's pretty crazy. I'm super excited about this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you as excited as I am about this? Yeah, very cool, Nando. Welcome to the stream. Wow, this is good. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. And I'm just scratching the surface of what you can do. Actually, you could let the user animate these values. And I don't know, I had this idea of an app that allows you to create very cool gradients, and then you save the image locally and the user can use it, right? So that would be a pretty cool app. And by the way, there is a pretty good example that I have here that I wanted to show you guys. So I wanted to show you this post from Tomasz Zapeta. He works at Expo. He's actually the creator or the one who created this Expo module, and he created this very cool example where he's letting you basically, you know, drag and drop the position, and you can change the gradient look. And if you let the user choose these colors and the position of where you are, starting the new color and gradient, and then save the image, you could have very cool background images, and they would be created by users. And then you could let users upload these images and have like a social network of super cool mesh gradients, which is really nice. So let me know in the comments if you want me to integrate this thing for this example. I think that would be cool. We can implement it fairly quickly because I would be copying his example. But yeah, super excited about mesh gradient. I think the possibilities are endless. Let's see what ChatGPT can do with this. Create a, I don't know, eye peeling look. Crazy. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. It's safe. Oh, so it's taking like the entire color sheet and moving it. I think it looks good. Now let's change the colors. Change light mode. Very cool. Well, this is good. Yeah. Yeah, light mode looks great. So we could actually have both, right? Let's do that. Const color scheme. Actually, I can say is dark using the color scheme from React Native. And then I can say const dark colors. And I'll add that in a moment. Const light colors, and light colors are going to be these ones. So let's paste them in here. And yeah, I did something wrong. There we go. Cool. And then based on the theme, I can change the colors. Yeah, but I need to add some dark colors. So let's see. All right, and if I switch, yeah, it looks pretty cool. Awesome. So you could have something like this. And yeah, this is a pretty cool pattern. Yeah, super excited about this.